There are many invasive species that could threaten the natural environment of the Virgin Islands. This likely threat was examined when the Conservation and Fisheries Department held its first annual invasive species panel discussion at the Fishlock Hall in the J.R. O'Neill Botanic Gardens on Wednesday, June 4th. Representatives from the National Parks Trust, the Conservation and Fisheries Department, the Jos van Dyke Preservation Society, Groundworks BVI, and the Department of Agriculture shared information about the various invasive species that already exist in the BVI and how they impact the environment. Veterinarian at the Department of Agriculture, Dr. Nadia George, raised concerns about the introduction of the green monkey into the BVI. She said they are carriers of tuberculosis, hepatitis B, and yellow fever.
The green monkey, which is not native to the Caribbean, it's native to Africa, and the British Virgin Islands specifically has no native monkeys. But monkeys, the green monkey can be found in some countries such as Barbados and St. Kitts, but it's not native to the Caribbean at all. And with the green monkeys, they're not legally permitted into the British Virgin Islands unless for the purpose of zoos or soccer states. So there's a restricted entry of monkeys into the territory. They are a threat to the agricultural plantations and nuisance, but the main thing that we focus on when it comes to the monkeys, especially why there's a restricted entry of them, is that they have a zoonotic potential, but a zoonotic risk, where they are carriers to yellow fever, hepatitis, and tuberculosis. So in order for a monkey to gain entry into the BVA, it has to be screened for these diseases. It also has to be inoculated for yellow fever 21 days prior to coming into the territory in the country of origin. And it also has to have a negative TB test.
Dr. George says despite efforts to prevent the entry of venomous and other non-native species of snakes in the territory, there has been one such recent discovery.
Now, here we have the ball python. This is also native to Africa. It's very popular in the pet trade because it has a docile, it's very docile. The Virgin Islands, we only have one native snake, which is the Virgin Islands tree boa. We want to keep our population of snakes to be non-venomous. We do not have any venomous snakes in the BVA, so we do not want to introduce any venomous snakes into our population. And as well, we do not want hybridization. If hybridization occurs, then our local population will decrease, and we wouldn't be sure what type of snake we would be getting because we don't know what invasive species would be mating with our local snakes. A person came from the US, came into the British Virgin Islands, and at the residence they saw this snake. So apparently the snake came in on through their luggage, somehow got in. Apparently they didn't know that the snake was there. They saw the snake. We were contacted, we identified the snake. It was identified as a ball python, which is not native to the BVI. So our next action was to kill it, euthanize, because we do not want, although it's not a venomous snake, we do not want any other snakes into the territory, especially being an invasive species of which they have the skin.
An invasive species is an organism that causes ecological or economic harm in a new environment where it is not native. Vernon Daniel of Groundworks BVI said several plants, including ornamental ones, are invasive species. Some of those he mentioned stunned members of the audience.
The coral vine, bridal tears or coral vine, when we drive along the roadsides, we see that pink flower, hanging over all the trees. That's not the flower of the tree, it's actually a vine that, and its potential for outshading trees and that sort of thing makes it invasive. And the noni as well, it's medicinal, but it's also considered invasive. The seeds are a lot like the coconut, it's buoyant. And it goes hundreds of miles through waterways, and wherever it lands, it germinates. Next. Then the guinea, surprising, it is. It's not native, it's naturalized, it's not native to the BVI, it's from South America. Agave americana, it's localized and spreading. When we say localized, it means that this area, which is the inflorescence of the plant, every bracket on that inflorescence contains hundreds of flowers. Each flower, after its cycle, produces a plant. Then there is the Casuarina, Australian whistle pine, which it is beneficial. It has been introduced for its beneficial properties, which is protecting beaches and for shade. But because of how the roots extend, they tend to affect nesting areas for turtles. There is the Centrus, African foxtail or buffalo grass. That as well is another, or considered another invasive species. It's naturalized to the BVI, but invasive. There is the guinea grass, the famous guinea grass, which for its agricultural use was introduced because it's very good fodder for livestock. The Boston fern, it kind of hurt my heart to put that one on there, but it's a very popular ornamental plant as well. In the Sage Mountain area, it's pretty established.
Invasive species can harm both the natural resources in an ecosystem as well as threaten human use of these resources. Invasive species are capable of causing extinctions of native plants and animals, reducing biodiversity, competing with native organisms for limited resources, and altering habitats.